What is up, everyone? It is me, Psycho Blue, conductor of the Hype Train, Mr. Hype Gems, hashtag Crosswires, hashtag Happy Birthday, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, 10 years! Ladies and gentlemen, that's a very long time to be doing something like this. It's bad enough that some people won't stick for a game for even 1 year, but we here, we here at the House of Psycho Blue, which is kind of messy, but I'll clean that once I'm done. I mean, it's a party today, so it's expected a little bit messy. 10 years Street Fighter Cross Tekken, we have been at this for 10 years. The YouTube channel has been up documenting Cross Tekken action for about 8 years. I commentated my first Cross Tekken event, the Capcom Cup Online Qualifiers, and that was 9 years ago. And 10 years ago, last Sunday, we celebrated Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And yeah, it's going to be a very informal stream. I will try and stay as coherent as I can. You already heard my sentence talking about 10 years of Cross Tekken go nowhere, talking about the 10th anniversary that happened last Sunday, March 6th. March 6, 2012 was when the game came out, and it's been a wild ride since. This is a game that elicits many different emotions. At the start of the program, you won't be hearing it. This is the YouTube version I'm uploading here, but I was playing some Cross Tekken tracks, some of the officially licensed modern English-speaking music. We had stuff from Street Drum Corps, Black Tide, a band no longer with us, Rise Against, a more popular band. Hollywood Undead did something for this game. I mean, this game had some significant promotional budget behind it, and that is something that I will always remember about getting hyped for the game. This is the one game of prophecy. I still feel this way, and even if the prophecy falls on deaf ears, that doesn't make it any less of a revelation that it has been. And we'll be talking exactly why it's a revelation and why certain critics don't know what they're talking about. I will get more into that, but we're going to start our 10th anniversary extravaganza. We're going to do a year-by-year review of the game, stuff I remember about the game as a player, as a commentator, as an organizer, some travel stories, and some personal anecdotes on where I was in life in between. I don't want to repeat too much of already been said by someone like Stumblebee or Matt McMuster or any other vultures who talk about this game and beat it like a dead horse. It is not dead, by the way, and we have proven that time and time again, thanks to the efforts of not just myself, but the Cross Tekken Discord community, to NYC Furby, and even to Cross Counter TV a brief time during the early parts of the pandemic. So even if Gutex is off chasing conspiracies and thinking that Area 51 was moved to Ohio or something ridiculous like that, I try not to bite the hand that feeds me too much, so we will give him a brief shout out before we move on and leave him to his anti-vaxxing nutjob ways. Let me pull up the first video. Speaking of nut jobs, how about we review the early parts of Cross Tekken's release, where we discussed the... Oh, sorry, I lost. Again, this is an informal stream. We are about to discuss some of the controversies even beyond the obvious. Let's go to the Cross Assault reality show. We already had trouble in Paradise when it came to Street Fighter Cross Tekken, thanks to the behaviors of Eris, the Tekken guy. Yeah, avoiding the puddle. Sadly, he couldn't avoid the backlash that came with this, and he's very fortunate that this happened well before these blow-ups became a regular thing. And I say it from personal experience. Some of you guys might know this, some of you guys might not. I was on the wrong side of my words being taken sideways, but nothing I did or ever will do would be as suspect as this. This is day one Cross Assault. Okay, so for those who do not know, Super Yan, who also hates me, as far as what I've seen on Twitter, maybe I'm wrong, maybe she has come to forgive my very disagreeable, blunt way of speaking, and if not, that is her prerogative. Anyway, so Eris was hitting on her and started sniffing her without permission. She kind of laughed it off at first, but it is pretty clear that she is not happy with Eris' behavior, especially in the middle of a set. This is super jittery, so I'm going to skip right to it. Again, this is going to be a very unstructured type of informal podcast for Street Chatter Cross Talkin', but I do want to talk about this as much as I can. And by the way, if anyone is still mad about my mess from last year, I apologized, and that is the end of that. You can either take it or not. So, yeah, let me give you some backstory on Cross Assault. Again, this is 10 years ago. Some of you who might be watching this might not even know what this is, other than what you saw from Epic Muscles or Maximilian, whoever else wanted to dump on the game, even years after the fact. This was a reality show of a bunch of exhibitions between players from the Street Fighter and the Tekken community. This game, again, it had a lot of promotional hype behind it. There were some concerns about gems and things like that. Um, and people talk about the gems even today, and I'll get into the gems a little bit later. But this was, in my opinion, the worst of the controversies that around this game's release. And you're seeing it right here. Like, you don't see the person playing. Like, she just stepped off. But let me skip right to it. I'm trying to find it. There we go. You see Eris up there. Yeah, Eris was sniffing Super Young without permission, and this caused a rather big stink. As well it should. You can't be acting that way around other people without consent, especially in the middle of a set. And there were people making jokes about it on commentary in the weeks that followed, and they got in trouble. They lost their commentary privileges. So don't think that they got away unscathed. As I'm saying, Eris is very fortunate this happened during the era where social media was not as big as it is today. Otherwise, we would have never seen him again. Like, well, what he's doing here is completely not cool. So the fact that he is still around, making noise, doing official Namco broadcast, that is a testament not just to his staying power, but also to the world as it was back in 2012. Again, this is very jittery. And I'm also going to turn the volume down a bit. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me rant about this. There we go. Okay, I just had the volume down, so it's still good. Anyway, yeah, this reality show was supposed to be the grand unveiling of a new era of fighting game competitiveness. This was going to be, we talk about Capcom Esports, Capcom Pro Tour. Street Fighter Cross Tekken was the flagship of Capcom's push to make the fighting community a lucrative endeavor for the players as well as for sponsors. It did not go as planned. Look at some of these logos. IPL. This did not last very long at all. IPL was their version of what would be like an E-League, but it died around 2013. I remember that because they're going to have Cross Tekken still after the controversies. Let us go to some of the early tournament footage. Tekken version 2012. I see 5 viewers in the chat. It's good to see you guys. Hopefully I'll see more when I have the YouTube version uploaded. I'm not going to go over the EVO Grand Finals just yet. I'm trying to find some early one-on-one footage. Fighter Cross Tekken. Maybe NorCal Regionals would have something. NCR maybe? Yeah, I tried to find the Cross Tekken IRC series, the OBS, sorry, the OTS, I should say. OBS is on Blast Show, as well as the stream program I used. But OTS stands for Online Tournament Series, and that was something that, yeah, that was something that really improved my play as a player. Here we go. We got it up. Okay. So again, this is very blurry. This is, after all, well before the era of HD being a regular thing, so I'm sorry this is not the best quality. But yeah, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, when it came out, there were a lot of really unfortunate bugs. The Relento glitch bug, where if you traded a projectile with the knife throw, it would freeze the game. And that kind of stagnated competitive play for about a month. That was, I think, June or May of 2012. But there was clearly potential. So I'm still really happy about how the game has turned out. Even back then, I was having fun with the game. The game was clearly fun. It needed a lot of polish, but sometimes you can't allow these games to have their final verdict until some more time has passed. Even in testing, you can have people test the game and find this and that, and they can adjust it. Like this game went through so many adjustments. Oh, actually, yeah, this is beta footage. There we go. Look how different the game looks. Characters not on the screen. You saw Rolento's EX Patriot Circle send opponent flying. I think that was the Alpha Counter version. Again, I wasn't only halfway paying attention. But yeah, so much has changed. Now EX Patriot Circle, and even back then when the game went gold, EX Patriot Circle was a launcher, was a combo starter. In this version of the game, it's a get off me move. So this game was going through a lot of beta phases, and I don't want to hear anyone saying this game wasn't properly tested. It was tested thoroughly. Look how many revisions it went through. Look how many system changes it went through. Are Gems this version? Because Gems was until I think August. Yeah. So Gems didn't even come out. This is October. It's dated, but yeah, Cross Tekken didn't have Gems until like towards the end, like October, November, and that was met with a ton of controversy. I don't know. I couldn't find the video where Ono revealed the gems and what happened there. So for those who don't know, and again, this is a podcast. This is just background noise while I'm talking about it. When Street Fighter Cross Tekken was first revealed in 2010, all they showed was that was going to be a tag game, 2-on-2. That's all they showed. And they had footage where if you did a cross assault, characters would do like they would summon their partner first, and then the point character would finish the combo, rather than now where if you do a cross art, the point character does the special assist animation, and the anchor character coming in finishes the combo. So already that was changed. Then the official release was in April of 2011, and that trailer ruled. We'll talk about the trailers maybe later. But yeah, I want to keep things going because again, this is an informal anniversary stream. I tried writing a speech, but I just have so much to talk about. There was just no way I could write it without writing a novel. Going back to the different builds of the game. But yeah, you see gems aren't here yet. The first build of the game, I think, was around that time, April or May of 2011, and reception was extremely positive. You could cancel your boost combos, your magic series, into a special attack with no meter necessary. That was later changed, I think, in the summer, where if you wanted to cancel a cancel a cross rush, the boost combo stuff, into a special attack, it had to be EX or Super. Probably because a lot of characters could lock people down for free with no cost if it was left like that as is. Like you see with Kazuya even today, where it's 1-2, Electric Godfist, still Kazuya's turn, 1-2, Electric Godfist, still Kazuya's turn. Right now, there's really no combos, they're just doing some Tekken strings right now with Kazuya. And that got changed over time. Again, around the summer, they made it so it was EX or Super only. Pandora was something people didn't know about either. Pandora was revealed, I think, in the summer of 2011. And it was told time and time again that it was not supposed to be like popping X Factor. You're already seeing how useless it is just popping it free like that, even as early as this. Gems didn't come into the picture until the fall, October, because I remember doing my student teaching around that time in grad school when the gem stuff came out. I didn't have any problem with it because I'm old, and I remember when things like capsules were a revolutionary concept in Dragon Ball Z Budokai, and these are the same devs as Dragon Ball Z Budokai as well. And the fighting game revival was only 3 years old, so a lot of ideas that were used in the 2000s pre-revival era, they trying to find the word to describe this. They were still trying to find their footing, and this was around the time that both Capcom and other companies were realizing this fighting game craze is here to stay. Street Fighter 4 has brought everyone back. It's not just some 3D players, not just Tekken and Soul Calibur, or if you're really, really desperate, things like KOF Maximum Impact 2, or having old KOF 98 UM or 2002 UM, whatever it was. Koga. I see someone in the chat. Good to see you. Gems. I don't like gems being optional. I'm going to tell you why. I do agree with the last point. I'll get to that later. So I'm going to say something that has infuriated people for the last decade. And I have stood by this, and I have behavioral scientific reasons why I stand by this. Gems are a better beginner's mechanic than auto combos. Let me tell you why. Now, the pay-to-win stuff, that's dumb. I will agree that is one controversy that Capcom deserves to be on blast for. Because if you have to pay to get the better gems, that's stupid. That's like free-to-play stupidity, and that has no place in Street Fighter. That part, Capcom deserves to be on blast with. But gems by themselves, especially the way gems are now in 2013, I would rather a player be reinforced for playing the game correctly than having a crutch for doing something where they can be lazy, but it provides no gateway to the way the game should be played. I remember when Ono revealed the gems, they had two randoms play, a kid and some other player, and the kid picked easy input gem. And I remember that because other games like X-Men vs. Marvel vs. Street Fighter, actually. X-Men didn't have it, I don't think. Marvel vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and even CVS2 Easy Operation had a one-button special, so I was not a stranger to that. And I didn't realize at the time how much that would break the game. It did lead to like one-button SPDs or chargeless Sonic Booms, whether it be the easy input or super easy input. They made it so that if you used it, it cost meter, so you couldn't do EX moves easily. But even back then, the cost was not equivalent to the reward it gave. And I can understand how people would be mad if that was supposed to be tournament legal. But I like the idea of gems by itself, and I will tell you why right now. They reinforce you for playing the game correctly. If you have attack gems, let's say just the attack set in 2013, the default, it rewards you for breaking throws or blocking or hitting people with specials or hitting people with normal attacks. It promotes you to play a certain way, rewards you for maintaining your offense. And I'm telling you why, Koga, why it's good to have at least the regular gems, and why it was implemented poorly for what they wanted. Assist gems are dumb, though. That much I'm going to say. But our defense gems, you're rewarded for blocking correctly. You're rewarded for breaking throws. You're rewarded for doing this and that. They also activate passively. So basically, play good defense and use your defensive mechanics and you'll get defensive boost. That's cool. Meteor gems are like attack gems. Maintain a certain kind of offense or engage in certain kind of mechanics, like having a throw break or hitting people with normals and specials. And you're rewarded for more meter for playing the game correctly. That much I like. I think gems are better beginner mechanic as a concept than auto combos, because gems reward you for playing the game correctly the way you should be playing anyway. I think gems are a great concept. They were implemented very poorly, and even beyond just what happened with the assist gems, that gem selector was atrocious. If you don't know what I'm talking about, and I will maybe find a video, and again, if I don't worry about it. I'll probably just say right now, forget about it. With they had a gem selector where every gem in the game is assigned a triple-digit number. And you had to scroll through triple digits to find the gem you want, like you can suddenly remember it. That was so counterintuitive, especially because some gems were DLC, and not every setup had them. So that's even worse. That part sucked. The DLC gems, that sucks. But gems, the concept is fine. If they had it in a way where, one, the gems weren't pay to win, and every gem in the game and every gem that was around the game was yeah, Koga. I'm saying gems are cool. I don't agree with you that gems are bad. I'm talking about DLC stuff. That stuff is stupid. I'm getting there. I'm there right now. Having gems that are DLC locked and expecting every single setup to have them as if you would a character is ridiculous. Especially if you have triple digits to sort through with the gem analyzer. Here's how I would have done it if you wanted to do it like this. For one, I wouldn't have had any DLC gems. At least gems that were paid DLC. Again, the pay to win stupidity, that is not good. I would have had it where one of two ways. One, you would have like a dial system, like a numpad where you can click the numbers you want through a numpad to know which ones you want. Two, you have each type of gem in a different section. You just scroll through and find the one you want. Or three, I would have done it like, again, I thought they were going to do it like this, but keep in mind, technology never got to this point for the PS360 era. In the PS2 era, for things like custom colors or custom move lists, or custom costumes like in Tekken or Super Dragon Ball Z or Budokai and stuff like that, all you had to do was bring your memory card with you and stick it into the slot above your controller, and then whatever custom setup you had for your character, it was loaded instantly. No more mess. I was thinking they were going to have it where you had your custom gem and color setups on a thumb drive, and you would plug the thumb drive into the USB, and that would load your custom character setup, your gems, your colors, etc., for tournament play offline. And then you would plug in your controller back in to make it so that you can play now, and now you have your main team and all the colors and gem setups therein and synergy therein up to date. It never got to that point. So basically, no one used gems because they were too hard to set up. The DLC stuff was dumb, and the default set for each character universally sucked. You had to customize your gems in vanilla to make them any good. We will go more into gems once we get to 2013. We're still in 2012. So I do not agree with Max. I don't agree with Matt McMuscles. I don't agree with Stumblebee. I don't agree with anyone who says gems by themselves are dead. Anyone who says eliminate the gem system, no. You don't know how to play Cross Tekken if that is what you're looking for. Otherwise, you will have even more time overs than you already have. That was another reason this game was not popular. And this one is dumb. This one I will not agree with, absolutely not, in any possible context. People did like all the time overs. Well, for one, no one, look at this crap. No one optimized anything. To be fair, this is also beta footage, so it's not like it's a situation we got to worry about that. No one had anything optimized because no one was bothering the lab. And no one was playing with gems, which were supposed to help speed the game along with the different play style buffs it would give you, depending on what your team synergy was. And even if that was the case, I don't like the idea that because of the way a game's meta plays, that makes the game inherently bad. Unless it's a situation where everyone plays exactly alike, like Fighter Z Season 1, where other than Boo, everyone had kind of the same play style, and that's why I hate auto combos, because auto combos, especially if they are ones that are part of the game meta, like in Fighter Z, that can lead to a lot of playstyle stagnation and kill archetypes, which can make a game very monotonous. In the case of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, the best characters are those who can keep their turn the longest, which lead a lot of time overs. They have great buttons, and they have great block pressure. That is usually the opposite of most other games, where the top tier are usually rushdown monsters. I think defensive play is better for building fundamentals than what has become the standard lately of anime full offense. And that has obviously led to a situation where even games that aren't meant to be played like that, like Street Fighter, have been trying to adapt an offense first type system because it's quote unquote hype. I do not agree this is a good way to go. I think the fact that Street Fighter Cross Tekken has the timer as such a factor, that is cool. That makes me think of Samurai Showdown. That makes me think of Neo Geo Battle Coliseum or even Soul Calibur, where you have to use not just the damage given to you, but also the size of the stage, how much time you have to build your offense or maintain your defense depending where you are. Street Fighter Cross Tekken brought that back, and I am very grateful for that because all my best games are time over heavy games like Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, Soul Calibur, Samurai Showdown, stuff like that. That being said, Street Fighter Cross Tekken later on made the game much faster by changing some things that did need to be changed. For example, rolls. So wake up rolls, you could not do anything about other than just jump after them. It was almost a free way to get out. With um, today, you can throw the rolls, and rolls kill red health, which is, or back then it was brown health. You see, it's yellow and some gold for the recoverable health. Recoverable health also recovered very quick. So scaling for recoverable health, just like and Neo Geo Battle team had this problem. If you weren't playing like the super busted characters, like Tung, who had his flexing stuff that did way too much damage, you saw a lot of time overs in Neo Geo Battle Coliseum because a lot of people weren't optimizing their recoverable health or recoverable health killers. In Battle Coliseum, it was the D Assault. And in Cross Tekken Vanilla, the only way to kill recoverable health was to use Cross Art, all three bars, which is super expensive. And most people save those bars for alpha counters because alpha counters in Vanilla you could tag cancel from and continue getting damage from. This made characters like Sagat extremely powerful because he could just alpha counter and get a Tiger Uppercut tag cancel into his partner, and there goes half your health for the low cost of having your attack blocked and then having a bar. It was nutty. But yeah, I'm going on record saying gems are fine, and anyone who says no more gems, I'm saying no. Gems are part of the game, especially the default version that we have now, and they really add what I think is an optimized way of getting newcomers involved in the fighting games. Not so much the assist gem stuff, but rewarding people for playing the game correctly. And I see I lost viewers, so if I said this and you got driven away, then whatever. This is my stream. Let me go into where I was in life when this game was out. Okay, I had just finished grad school. I mentioned earlier I was watching this while I was doing my student teaching. Grad school was done in January of 2012. I was doing my substitute teaching, trying to find a full-time job fresh out of school. And this game came out in March. And I remember playing it in the lab because I've been watching footage of this game for a long time. Someone DM'd me, how is it? And I respond honestly, it feels amazing. The juggle system in this game feels so good. I also love how every character can convert off pokes, thanks to the boost combo system. I would have liked some more target combos across the board, especially for the Street Fighter side. But overall, I was very pleased with what I was playing. Even back then, where there were bugs like the Mega Man Jump Infinite glitch or the Relento stuff I mentioned earlier, I knew the game was going to get better just because it was Capcom. They had monthly patches up until, I think, of October. And October was when... Was it October? No, they released the characters, I think, in July or August for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. There's the next controversy, and I will get to this. Let me pull up Evo. Or... No, I'll pull up. I got better thing to pull up. Hold on. 1 second, guys. Let's pull up Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Vita. Where are we looking? That's not right. How about 25th? Yeah, this is good. Trying to find any DLC characters here. Hold on. Yeah, I decided not to go with Vita players. Let's just look for some DLC characters. I want to talk about the On This DLC and how mad people got there. Hey, it's my boy Willow. Wait, he's from around here. Willow's pretty cool. So, God, looks like they're playing some Day 1 characters right now. I know they have some... Where are the DLC people? Looks like they're not here. Was it Momochi playing it? I'm trying to remember. Taiwan. I see Infil and Punko. I want to talk about the DLC and the on-disc DLC for the 12 characters that came with the Vita, and the explanation of why it was that way and why no one bought, why people got mad. There was something people should have gotten mad about. And I will agree that people should have been mad about that, but they should have been mad about it a long time before Cross Tekken came out. I'll get to that in a moment. Trying to find some, screw it. We'll get to the DLC characters once they're actually on screen with different footage I want. We're still on 2012, ladies and gentlemen. We're 30 minutes in. We're still on the first year. We have 10 years to cover of adventures. Okay, let's just watch this. It's Infiltration and Punko. One guy has domestic problems. The other guy just has behavioral issues. So, no one's a saint, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty. So, yeah. The DLC characters. The way it was explained by Capcom is that Sony had a deal with Capcom that the final 12 characters, Brian, Jack, and those guys. No, Koga, there was other than that. It was other than that. Let me get there. You're doing revisionist history. It's going beyond this. Let me finish, please. Okay, so the way it was explained is that Sony had a deal with Capcom where until the Vita version came out in the late summer, fall, that the DLC characters would not be available, even though when people data mined this game, they saw those characters were sitting there ready to go. Now, I should note that this was not uncommon back then. So people acting like Capcom was the one that revolutionized this, they are wrong. And I saw Koga in the chat mention the issues with MVC3 and then Ultimate MVC3 coming out less than a year later. That was pretty silly, but as Koga said, there was also an earthquake that happened that screwed up development, so they just made a new disc, given that all the resources for what would have been more Marvel 3 vanilla were put in the dirt, as well as the horrible tragedy that happened that same year in Japan. So that part we're not going to get into. I'm going to talk about the game I was playing before this game came out, King of Fighters 13. That game also had characters fully finished on disc, and they were $5 a pop. It was EX Kyo, EX Iori, and Mr. Karate. They were $5 each for 3 characters that were already completely finished on the disc. And before then, there was BlazBlue, where they would have characters locked on the disc that cost about $6 or $7 a pop, and then your purchase would be rendered completely null and void because they would release a new disc-only update the next year. So ArcSys was nickel and diming people long before Capcom were. And SNK was like that too, only 4 months prior. Oh, yeah. Oh, so Koga, I forgot. Yeah, Koga's talking about how Jill and Shuma were already locked on disc. I forgot about them. Thanks for reminding me, Koga. And I remember that because Jill played like a Shadowloo doll. It was Resident Evil 5 Brainwash Jill. And shouts to Shuma for making it to Hollywood for Multiverse of Madness. We love you, Shuma. Anyway. So, other companies, Capcom, and again, ArcSys was doing it first with BlazBlue. ArcSys, SNK, everyone was doing this practice. But due to not just the fact it was happening, but the How many? 12 of them. And even though on paper 20 for 12 is not as expensive per capita as 15 for 3, understand that it was the straw that broke the camel's back. But pretending Capcom, this is why the game should fail, no. In that case, then stop playing BlazBlue and stop playing KOF. By the way, KOF 15 rules, but it's also funded by the dictator of Saudi Arabia, so we can't all have a nice and neat morality play in our fighting games. Anyway, people hated that. Another thing that sank FIFA Cross Tekken upon release, or sank it in relation to the expectations that were on it. The game wound up selling a little under 2 million copies, but they were shooting for 3. This game still wound up becoming one of the PlayStation greatest hits, but again, expectations were set very high, and all these things I have mentioned in the last 45 minutes or so were factors in why things went south. That being said, the game was still fun. Do not let anyone tell you this game was not fun even back then. Like, the final version of Vanilla, it's not as good as 2013, but the game was really starting to shape into something that was awesome. I'm going to see if I can find that finals real quick before I head to the 2013 talk, the really juicy stuff. Hold on just a moment, guys. Yeah, I don't want to support Panda too much. I'm kind of salting about how they did my boy Flynn Ju. 25th finals, maybe? Because I think it was won by a Jack, or Momochi, I think, won it. No, Info won it. Momochi just did very well. Here we go. This is Info and Tokido. Momochi won one of them, I think. Probably one of the qualifiers I'm forgetting about. Anyway, yeah, look, we got Jackie Boy, we have Dalsim in Grand Finals. I always love to see it. We got Cody. Yeah, Cody was ridiculous. Cody's crouch light kick in Vanilla Cross Tekken towards the end, that was a really, really stupid good move, especially a game that has a boost system. Yoga Sniper was also really stupid. I forgot about that. But yeah, look, but the potential is starting to come out. Even in this late vanilla phase, you're starting to see this game is hype. It just has to be developed further. Not by the developers, but by the players. Like, there's potential here that is being realized. So, again, I knew the game would round out to something fantastic. So, all these complaints about balance, you can say about every single fighting game ever. And give it time, you can say something about that with King of Fighters 15 as well. We're already seeing Ralph and Terry be kind of silly. So, we will see how things develop further, but every game can afford to be fine-tuned, because you don't know what it'll be like until it's out in the open. I still think this game was the best game on the market towards the end of 2012 when it came to all balance of stuff. And it's about to get even better. Let us go to version 2013. What'd be a good one to watch? Let's try final round. Let's watch some Evo. Let's watch some Evo, guys. Okie dokie. Street Fighter Cross Tekken at Evo. Before I get into that, I want to talk about where I was in 2013. Where I was in 2013, I was absolutely miserable. I was having constant fights with my supervisor at the special ed department chair. I was a first-year special ed teacher in rural nowhere, Virginia, and my supervisor was a loathsome Karen who called the students' names, hid information from parents, and overall was not a good person. And so with integrity, I took offense to that because I'm not going to be part of something that has such a disregard for the people we're supposed to help. And I would get into fights every day, and my principal gave up trying to fix it. The only thing that kept me from going completely bananas was Street Fighter Cross Tekken version 2013. when I saw the 2013 update, I was like, oh my god, they address every possible thing I could possibly want with this game. They have a standardized gem loadout, and the gems in the defaults are actually somewhat useful and encourage proper play styles. They made it so that the characters could actually play the game in a way they're supposed to play it, rather than rely on super safe boost combos on block that have insane pushback when they probably shouldn't. They had the nerfs to rolls, the buffs to throws, so that red health was easier to kill. That was something they got from King of Fighters. And again, I love King of Fighters 13. Forgotten to cross Tekken. They had all this good stuff here, and I was really pleased with how this game rounded out. And to that end, I competed in the Cross Tekken IRC's online tournament series. I was invited there by Koji from Shoryuken in 2012, around the time the DLC characters came out in vanilla. And I stuck with the game because I had nothing else to do. I was in the middle of rural nowhere. The closest Walmart was 30 miles away. The closest movie theater was 50 miles away. It was ridiculous. I mean, the closest GameStop was an hour away. I was in the middle of nowhere. I had nothing to do, and everyone in my town, if they weren't a student, they were like 60. And they were 60 and conservative. Not good for a Jewish boy like me, you know? So, yeah. Cross Tekken on a weekend, Cross Tekken after work, Cross Tekken when I'm not doing anything. That was my jam. And I finally, in 2013, made it onto the SF Evo videos. That also had a really big role in reviving Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Excuse me. There was an uploader, SSF4 Evo, who would upload 30 to an hour-long sets of online Cross Tekken matches. And the people playing online had refined, or had begun to refine the meta, so that what Capcom had clearly envisioned when they made this game was coming into fruition. That's why you'll see so many top players defend this game, because they knew what this game was capable of. They had seen it, because they stuck with it, because there was still some tournament stuff going forward. They saw, wow, this game's actually really godlike. This game has more characters than Ultimate Marvel 3, after all. And if you count the DLC as the equivalent of an on-disc that Ultimate 3 had, it was more bang for your buck, too. So, yeah, this game was really rounding out to something beautiful. And I was honored to be a part of it. And to make it onto the SSF4 Evo videos, I felt like I was turning a corner as a player. I learned so much from the IRC. It's a shame that they don't like me, or some of them don't, until others actually do like me, so thank you guys who stuck with me. But at the same time, it's a situation where I was in a spot in my life where, other than Cross Tekken, I was aimlessly wandering around trying to find a way to keep my enthusiasm up. Because I'm a man who is driven by boundless energy. And when that boundless energy is corrupted, it can lead to a lot of discourse with my peers, as you said, my supervisor. So I got fired at the end of the school year. I can't blame at this point. I was miserable, and when you're fighting with your superiors for so long, it can definitely grate on you. So I started going out, finally. Now I was free of rural purgatory. I drove back to Richmond, my hometown, and then I started driving up to D.C. to play people at Xanadu. How you doing, Ultra David? Good to see you. Ryan Hunter is also pretty cool. I haven't spoken in a long time. I talked Ultra David because I'm in his Discord. But, yeah, I started going to Xanadu, and between Xanadu and the IRC, I was leveling up really quickly, which is good because the game was so much better now. I started getting top 2, top 3 more often. I think at, in the end of the year, at the River City Runbacks, I got second. Rugal beat me in grand finals, but that was the farthest I've gotten. That was the best anyone did in Richmond. for that game because people from the beach and from DC were coming down. I was the highest ranking guy from Richmond to place in anything. That felt good.
I know, without ever having seen this guy play.
I've never seen him like he's the favorite to win the whole thing right now.
I know, I don't know.
I couldn't go to Evo because I didn't have a job and I have no income. So sadly, that this Evo that they're at, even back then, I probably could have gotten like top 64 with the way others were playing what I saw. And that's not me being a braggart or delusional. I knew where I was at back then, and everyone was saying, wow, this is... Now, these guys are great, though. But, like, anything below the top 32 looked really free. Like, it was clear they hadn't done anything to practice the way we in the IRC had been practicing it. But yeah, I couldn't go to this. I did go to Fall Classic, though, and I was honored. I achieved a dream in 2013. I commentated the Capcom Cup online qualifiers because in 2013 they were going to do one more cross-Tekken thing at Capcom Cup. It was going to be Online Warriors versus quote-unquote the pros. And there were 4 online qualifiers, 2 for PSN and 2 for 360. And thanks to the wonders of screen sharing, I did at 360 back then, I got to commentate the Capcom Cup online qualifiers. That was a dream come true. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, my childhood dream was to be a sportscaster, and I got to live out that dream. And not only that, I got hired at the alt-ed school I worked at for 2 years. After that same week. It was amazing. My spirits were so high. And version 2013, what it offered to me as a player and as a commentator, this game has changed my life. I don't want to think about where I would be without this game. I probably would have found something else to focus my mind on, not for this game, but because this is the game that happened to be around, this is what I focus my energy to, and me playing this game, even just to lab. I play this game just labbing to center myself when I am not feeling good. And thanks to the lessons I have learned through this game, those times I'm not feeling good are few and far between. When I got in trouble on Twitter, first thing I did, once I woke up a bit and got my work done, was I played Storm and Fighter and Cross Tekken. He beat me pretty bad, but at the same time, it kind of woke me up. This game is real. What you're seeing right here on the screen, this is real, honest fighting. See those gems right there? They reinforce the fact that's real, honest fighting because it is rewarding you for playing the game correctly, for the way you are supposed to play it based on this gem setup that you have and the team that you have. This game does not lie to you. And because this game does not lie to you, I can immediately discern where my energy might be off when I'm playing it. I'm not playing to the best of my ability. And if I'm playing fantastic, I know exactly where my energy is. Because it ties into my own mental health, and it educates me about where I need to sharpen up to improve my mental health, and what I need to do to heal from whatever ailment I may have that's going through my emotions and my particular mentality. 2013, love it. Let's get to 2014. Yeah, this is also a dream come true. This is when I started running, I think it's about around 17. So after me getting involved with, do they have the whole top 8? Oh, it's a playlist. I don't want to hear myself commentate back then. It's nice and all, but yeah.
Okay, I try my best.
Anyway, I'm on commentary with Aaron Lovato. I have no idea where he is. He might not like me either. But again, I'm a competitor, so any kind of discourse I have as a competitor, again, I played basketball and soccer when I was young, and my idols as a competitor are Charles Barkley, Bill Laimbeer, and Kobe Bryant, 3 of the biggest knobs you can imagine. So I feed off that energy, and I'm not going to be in the same state of mind when I'm not talking about this game. So whoever I offend, I am unapologetically me. You can either accept that or you can do something else. Anyway, so with by the way, Lovato, if you do like me, I appreciate you and thank you for being my commentary partner that day. So I'm just I don't know what the deal is with you. I hope you're doing well. Anyway, for this particular event, Final Round, not only did I get to commentate, and that was a dream come true, because I'd commentated online, but not offline like that, to have full commentary duties. This felt great. I actually helped make this bracket. One of the Final Round bracket makers, I forget his name, but I think he's left the scene. He came to me saying, help me make these brackets. And I basically made the pools so that there was like a balanced amount of players, so that each pool was each pool had a really good a good balance of known players and not so known players. And that was important not just for name value, but the fact that I know that certain people that the organizers might not know have been playing this game and playing at a very high level. And because of that, top 8 wound up being the 8 best players undisputedly in that whole tournament. For many years, people said this was the pinnacle of competitive Street Fighter Cross Tekken. This particular tournament and this particular grand finals. Infiltration got eliminated by Cool Kid and Kelvin. And given that Infiltration, other than what Seth LOL did to him the year prior, had been dominating Cross Tekken, for him to get third was really unheard of. And people know Cool Kid for Street Fighter V and Dragon Ball, but it's really sad to me that a lot of people don't remember this was where Cool Kid first got his accolades as one of the best players Cross Tekken had ever seen, playing a team that was uniquely him. Cody Bob is the Cool Kid team. There have been a couple of guys who have used it, like Paige Dale, but just this particular team, that's why I have for the Combo Breaker flyer Cody and Bob, because Cool Kid is from Chicago, and Cody and Bob is Chicago. Kelvin is doing well. He sometimes resurfaces on social media. I've seen him at events as well, but keep in mind, we're getting back to the world since we did just emerge from a pandemic. I hope he's doing well. I get to see him again when I'm either Combo Breaker or maybe EVO. I'm thinking about going to EVO, ladies and gentlemen, and if I'm there, Kreztech will be there as well. But yeah, I'm really pleased to see how things were going, because I made this particular bracket so that these 8 players, the 8 players that made it, the 8 best players, would most likely be the top 8 to create the most entertaining top 8 possible, assuming that someone better in their pool didn't get by them. So I'm glad I got that sense of talent there. Ooh, raw launcher. Look at this, so good. So, EVO. At first, I thought Karastorm was going to host the stream for EVO 2014, because I was determined to see this game continue to evolve and progress, and to reach this level, if not farther. When Kara said he couldn't make it, I said, you know what? I'm going to do this myself. I bought some AverMedia LGPs. Those are what you use to record stuff in 1080p, even if you don't have a laptop to stream with. I got some sound equipment, like really low quality poverty sound equipment. Back then, you could stick a soundboard into your LGP to get sound, and I had no idea back then how to mix it. So it was rough early on, but we learned as we went, and through that, and having my really cheap laptop with me, we did manage to stream Street Fighter Cross Tekken at EVO 2014. And that was the start of me becoming the EVO TO for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Cross Tekken did not leave EVO until 2018, because that was when Combo Breaker was saying they give me official stream time, which EVO never did. And I didn't compete at EVO 2014, but this was around the time that I dropped Sagat in favor of Bison, so my team became Bison Heihachi. And at Xanadu, I was now getting top 2 on the regular, and people who kept me the year prior, I was getting past. So I was improving as a player. Felt great. That's why I kept the game alive, so I wasn't done with it. I wanted to improve. I had a lot more I wanted to learn and get better at, and the only way it was going to happen is if I provided a stage for which I could do so. 2014 was also when I started doing more online stuff, not just with ranked or endless, but with like certain streams, certain stuff I can be a part of where other people were hosting cross Tekken. Seth LOL. I remember people talking junk about me a few months prior, and let's see if I can find it. Was it versus Ambu? I think this was versus Ambu Manos. I think his name is Soroto now in Street Fighter V. He's a Fong player, if I recall correctly. Psycho Blue. Because I had beaten Roka earlier. Here we go. Yeah, this was on Seth. This was on Seth LL's stream. We're on 2015, guys. We've already moved forward. Late 2014, 2015, I was really determined to come into my own as a player. The reason why is because I wasn't sure if I was going to keep with Cross Tekken entering the new year because they had just revealed Street Fighter V. And for all I knew, Street Fighter V might have done what I like for Cross Tekken, but better. I still like 5, by the way. This is not a stream where you dump on 5. But anyway. People told me in the Facebook group at the time. Yeah, this time I got bopped. By the way, spoiler, I win this set. People were telling me in the Facebook group that they did not recognize my play because I was winning so consistently, and they did not see me as someone like that. Which is, again, why I wanted to continue playing Cross Tekken, because I wanted to improve. I felt like I had more to give, and I didn't want to leave a game unpolished because I was dedicated, and this game interested me in ways no other game had. So I wanted to end on a high note. So, 2015, I said I had a tagline, cross the line one last time, because I was not sure if this was going to be the end of the line for me, and I really should not be getting hit by all this stuff. This is definitely PSN Cross Tekken right now. But yeah. So what I did is I stuck with it, and I made sure to support Cross Tekken any place I could, not just for this stream, but Chile still has some tournaments offline for it. I was part of some of the Panda X Gaming commentary stuff because I wanted to continue to refine my commentary because I love commentating, as well as to kind of make friends with Panda X Gaming because they were going to help me with Street Fighter Cross Tekken Evo. Cross Tekken Evo happened, and again, I was not sure if we'd be doing more after that. My gut feeling was this might be the end. I got 9th. That's fine. 9th at Evo's up the sniff at. But I remember, I had a funny story. So, Panda made it clear to me that my equipment was complete garbage, and he would refuse to stream anything with my horrible sound equipment. What I had to do is I had to help him move all of his monitors and equipment from his hotel to the venue. We walked about 3 miles each way, carrying heavy equipment. I think I did 2 laps. I was drenched in sweat by the time I was done. I did not complain once because I knew for the preservation of Cross Tekken, it would be so worth it. And it was. Yeah, we're kind of speeding through things now because I've already talked enough about the early controversies. Oh, I should have got that link. I'm not going to watch my play. Sorry, guys. This is play from 7 years ago. I was not the player back then that I am now. I didn't become like a good player until probably 2016. We'll get to that a bit later. Yeah, eat that. Eat that, Broody. Alrighty. So, 2015. I had put down Cross Tekken after Evo. I picked it back up soon after because no sooner had I showed up to Fall Classic that year, everyone was asking me, where's Cross Tekken? Where's Cross Tekken? They were astonished that I had not brought Cross Tekken with me because I had no intention to that day. And that's when I knew that it's time to come back. This game, sadly, at that point, again, I'm not trying to brag, but no one else was putting in the effort at the time that I was to keep the game running in a competitive setting, whether it be offline or online, because Seth LOL had moved on as well. So I said, all right, we're back. Let me get stuff ready. And over time, I said, all right, we're going to have some cross-second stuff. But I do want to play some Street Fighter V as well, because that game's going to be new. It's coming out soon. Ooh, I got you buff, Ceruto. Ugh. So yeah, the reason I stuck Cross Tekken back then, 2015, is because people wanted me to. And to everyone who said that and who said, where's Cross Tekken to me, saying that you associate me with that game to a point where I've made an impression on you, thank you. Because you kind of taught me things about myself that I maybe took for granted. Me sticking with this game has led to a lot of fantastic things, beyond just the taste of victory. A taste of victory that Ceruto's Brian is not going to give me if I'm not careful. Ah, I wanted to stomp him like that. There you go. Get out of my face. Da-da, boop, bop, boom. Okie dokie. So yeah, 2016. This is January 2015, so we're going to stop this. Let's put up Evo. So 2016, the only thing I ran for Cross Tekken, as far as I know, beyond like some local events, was, I think Evo was the one. Because I was at Final Round. Let me think, hold on. So, Fall Classic 2014, I got second to Jibbo. And 2015, no one entered. Final Round. How can I forget Final Round? Final Round 2015. That was interesting. So, Harada came out and hung with us because he heard Cross Tekken was going on the BYOC area. And he saw that the game that he helped promote was still being played. He just came to say hi to us. Let's put up, what was the final? He had a round robin of some kind. Yeah, I thought Carnage from the Discord was this guy, BL Carnage. It's not him. That's why I called him that at first. He was very confused as to why. Who can I play as? Let's put up Jibbo versus Toga. Man, you can tell how early this is because the sound quality is completely off. I had so little experience and so little understanding of just how deep I had to be to make this game presentable. And this was not it. I didn't have the experience or the equipment that I have now to make this happen. This is actually kind of embarrassing. Yeah, that year, 2015, where I was in life, again, this is Final Round 2015. We already spoke about Evo, going back in time to April. Evo was in July, and whereas Cross Tekken was like back in September, October. We'll get to 2016 a bit later. 2015, April, I was in a miserable spot in my life. No, this is March. Miserable spot in my life. My job was, again, going to poo. This was as I was trying to pass my BCBA exam. I had already failed it twice. I was not happy because things were going really nasty in my job, and I had to leave my job ASAP. And then I was in a situation where I had to try and stay, and they fired me before I could actually say I wanted to stay. And I lost a money match to Simba that I really should not have. And I got really upset. I was on some medication that my psychiatrist prescribed me. I am since drug-free, ladies and gentlemen. Drug-free is the way to be. Just use some self-management, good to go. But Simba, for years, has talked junk about me. He's been aloof to me. He's been treacherous to me. So Simba, if you listen to this, be nicer to me next time. Show some civility. Anyway, so right now, Simba is playing... Simba is Toga, by the way. Simba is playing Heihachi Asuka. And... Ooh, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, I hosted this, and you see the LGPs. This is 1080i/720 quality. It's just the microphone is not really in a good synchronization with the rest of the game. So at least you can hear the game sound nice and neat. But yeah, I still had more to give. And Final Round was, again, where I cut my nails. Final Round was a fantastic year for me in 2014, being able to commentate and create those brackets. Here I'm keeping the lights on by myself. I put down, I think, $100 for a base pot. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, I've spent probably 5 figures on Street Fighter Cross Tekken between travel fees, pot bonuses, and overall maintenance to make sure this game is presentable to you, the audience. So thank you guys who have been with me all this time. Let us get to 2016. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Final Round. And by the way, Simba, if I'm cross at you, it's not just because of what you said on Twitter. It's because you never, ever tune into my Facebook or my social media other than to criticize me and my takes. And people like you are more toxic than Chameleos. Grow up a bit, my man. We're all adults here. So Final Round 19, I just kind of hung out with my friends. I got to meet someone I've been talking on the phone with for years. Jeff, Booty Time. He's been a fantastic friend. We talk like once a month. We usually talk for like an hour and a half, usually about fighting games or wrestling or sports. We got to meet in person in 2016. It was great. Loved it. I almost made out of pools in Street Fighter V that year. So that was nice to know that I got enough fundamentals to hang at a high level of Street Fighter in its first month. But yeah, I was being told 2016, Cross Tekken, we need you back. Otherwise, this game will wither to nothingness. I was told that by several people. This is not a slight to Homeless or the other people who kept Cross Tekken afloat on their channels, but in terms of actually putting money down, I said, let me do it, and I've got the equipment and the means to make it happen. Yeah, this was a good year. I felt really good, because this was the day... Where is it? Yeah, I got 5th that year, but being real, I should have done better. Let me find out my boy Veggie. There we go. I should have done better, to be honest, because Aziz told me before the tournament started, you are good enough to win Evo. You have reached a point where you are now entering the territory of the chosen ones. And that meant a lot to me, because Aziz is a very talented player. I won't say I got cocky, but I will say I did become careless at certain points of this tournament. I think if I had been more careful and more respectful of certain characters, such as Blanca, and remember they require a very specific way to play, that first loss, like I opened the tournament 0-1, that was a rough reality check. But yeah, this is when I was realizing, if I can just refine myself and not make these mistakes, I can make something happen. Based on who's left in this game, who's still playing, I can at least get top 3. It didn't happen this year, but again, I'm so grateful that people told me to stick with Cross Tekken, because this year, 2016 of EVO, that was when I was starting to realize, I can do this, but I have to find what I'm missing. Fundamentals. So let me tell you, how you doing, Gabrielle? Fundamentals aren't just knowing your buttons or knowing your management of the timer of your meter and stuff. Fundamentals are fundamental. It requires a certain state of mind where you don't get overcome by the fact that you're in a tournament and 2 losses can spell the end of your playing. The most agonizing thing that I can think of is the knowledge that I can no longer play video games at an event for video games. That is what keeps me from cracking under pressure when I'm in a tournament, because I want to play video games, and I want to play video games really, really, really bad. And for me to play video games, I have to refine my behavior so that I do not engage in careless mistakes that would eliminate me from tournament and thus prevent me from playing video games against high-level players as long as possible. That is the worst feeling about 0-2. Not the fact that you lost, but the fact that you're done playing. That hurts. And that's also why I get very upset when I lose offline, because if I get off, I can't play video games anymore. And that is a terror that I just cannot fathom. I dropped it like a moron. Oh well. So yeah, I got 5th that year. I lost to Wolfsten, the Blanca Bison. I lost to 4% Flash Kick, the Huarong Jin, who I actually housed for free in my hotel and paid for his entry in the event. So I was basically Goofy in that meme where the guy you drove to pools eliminates you in tournaments. And I just laugh about it. I like Andrew. He's a fantastic young man. And I thank Andrew for everything he's done to provide support. Yeah, I've got to be very careful. Veggie might bot me here. Veggie's really cool, by the way. Veggie is a player from Norway. You know him better for his Street Fighter V birdie. He was a Zangief player Street Fighter 4. He plays Law Geef and Ryu Geef in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Fantastic guy. I remember getting off this set, and by the way, I'm going to win this, by the way. Just spoiler alert. I remember winning this set and noticing this guy had a jersey on. Now, there's a kind of a bragging right where you beat a guy with an esports jersey. It's like, this guy got paid to be here, and you just gave him the business. That is a good feeling to have as a gamer. It's one of the simple things in life. And I'm not saying this to dump on Veggie's ability. Obviously, he had not played this in quite some time. But just at the time, I was thinking, yeah, we're feeling great right now. And now Veggie's one of my favorite people to talk to online. The fact that he showed up to play, he's earned my respect, and I'm really happy that he's finding all the happiness he's had, either as a professional Street Fighter player, as part of the Street Fighter League, or just as a father. He's a family man and one with a very kind heart. So, again, Veggie, I'm very proud to have had a set with you and to have come out the way I did. You're a strong player, and I'm lucky it wasn't worse. I'm already looking at my play saying, I'm lucky you didn't lab this, because this could have been disastrous for me. What happened? Oh, it's loading. No worries. So, yeah. I got 5th, but we're starting to round out into the player that I should be. And I remember getting really anxious entering 2017. Yeah, skipped everything there. I got really anxious with 2017 because I had no more excuses to why I should not be winning. Like, Aziz told it best to me this year, 2016. This should be yours. And 2017 was when I discovered the Street Fighter Cross Tekken Discord. Not the one in the IRC. No. That was my mistake. Someone made a Street Fighter Cross Tekken Discord that was still talking about Street Fighter Cross Tekken. The IRC Discord had since moved to a Discord where it was just all casual talk from people who knew each other from back in the day, but no one's really playing Cross Tekken anymore other than myself. And I was noticing I'm starting to fit in like a sore thumb. Most people were sick of me in that IRC. And once again, I'm unapologetically me. Let me see. Let me go back to my channel. What do we have from 2017 with the not the IRC, the my first foray into Salt's Discord. How far? We are 70 minutes into this thing. Again, there's a lot to talk about. There was no way I could have written all this down. Let's see. What do we got? That's Evo. It's Fall Classic. Oh yeah, here we go. I got some good stuff here. Okay, so two things happened. I joined Salt Levels Max's Discord, and there I learned how to play against the characters that got me stuck earlier. The Blankas, the Jacks, the Kings. The characters you don't see often. Thankfully, in the Cross-Tekken Discord, there were a lot of specialists in that Discord that allowed me to evolve my game in ways I couldn't easily through PSN. This took place, what I'm about to show you, this was in Virginia Beach around the time I joined the IRC. And believe it or not, even though I've gotten second place a ton up to that point, like I got second place 2013, 2014, 15, 16, I had never actually gotten first place. There was always one dude who kept me out. This was the year that changed. At this event, the FGC Throwback, by the way, this is the most entered event at that whole event. This was the main event, and I won. I felt like I was on the moon. I was so proud of myself. And I remember standing up and sticking my hands up like Sheepfire 2 Zangief or Brian Danielson now. Like Daniel Bryan. Just, yes, pop off, finally. I got first place in Cross Tekken that I should have gotten a long time ago. I was beyond ecstatic and so proud of myself. So for me to improve so much, I got really anxious about Evo. Evo had been won the past 3 times by Esta. And even if I'd already learned a hard lesson. In 2016, I said, I think I can take down Esta. And I didn't even have a chance to do so. And even in casuals, Esta still bought me, so that did not happen the way I would like. But in 2017, like you're seeing what I'm playing right now, I was, he could have killed me there. Yeah, I'm talking good, but right now he's basically eating me for free. I'm lucky I didn't lose that round. That was gross. Psycho Crusher, dead. Okay. I had to make it so that I was foolproof. Because I didn't want to take any chances. I didn't want to become arrogant like I had been in 2016. I said, there is no reason for me not to get top 3 at this point. With the way I'm playing, and that was not a punish. I thought it was, but it was not. Even back then, I wasn't the player I should be. But I said, this has to be it. Like, what else am I missing? And then came a time in 2017 where, between how I did in casual final round that year, and also the fact that Snake Eyes had me in his Mind Games video getting bopped, I had something to prove that weekend at EVO. But I told myself, as anxious as I am, there is no way I can be more prepared than I am now. The only way I can be caught off at this point is if I encounter something I didn't anticipate. At which point I will learn, and we will refine for next time, because there will be a next time. I said outright, I'm going to make it so that no matter what happens, I can say I did my best, and I did everything I possibly could to prepare for this. EVO 2017 came. I'm going to let Heihachi finish off jury here, then we'll talk about EVO 2017. The year, the event in which I emerged Le Champion. Okay, first let me hide my full screen. 2017 EVO. I've got some pictures in here I need to find as well. Some good ones. Where is it? But yeah, guys, this has been fun so far. We are a little over halfway through. No, under halfway through. This is the 5-year point we're at. It's been an hour and 15 minutes, and we're only at the 5-year point. I want to do something like this, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give this game a proper tribute and tell you guys about my adventures, and that's what we're doing. Ooh, yeah, there we go. We got the good stuff. I'm trying to load it right now. Look at this. This is juicy. Alrighty, so EVO 2017. The doors have not yet opened, but it is day one, and I'm in the lobby. I got my cross Tekken set up right next to the line, and down sits Punko. We play. I think to myself, this guy's really good. I need to be on my P's and Q's. 10-1 me. 10-1 me. Holy crap. Look at this. So I didn't take this. Esto took this picture because he was next to me. I didn't realize until at the end. Punko is a guy who was once known as the Beast Killer because he smoked Daigo in tournament. Daigo is one of my idols, not just as a player, but also as a human being for what he represents and what his career choices are beyond games. So for me to make that kind of statement before what I was trying to corner as the event I got top 3 at EVO at, minimum, I felt really good. I cannot stress just how much my confidence soared during this set, how dominant I was during this set, knowing the quality of player Punko was. And yeah, sadly, I got a lot of haters about it. I've broken off friendships talking about this set because people think I'm fabricating it or deluding myself in how much I accomplished. So anyone who says that, no, you're deluding yourself. I know exactly what I'm capable of, and I know exactly what this meant to me. I've watched this game enough to know exactly what needs to be done. And I did it, at least in this situation. Unfortunately, the cross-second tournament was the next day. Let's see how that went. Hold on just a moment, guys. Me versus Esta. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for Esta. I said earlier, he won EVO 2014, 2015, 2016. And he did so in convincing fashion. Like, he's done it with a roulette of characters. He had Hwaron King for 2014, Ryu King for 2015, Ryu King again for 2016. But when we played in the lobby, I smoked as Ryu King. And this is the team he picked on me instead. Law and Elena. If you don't know this matchup can destroy you. Both on a timer standpoint and in an offense standpoint. I'm saying we out. We out. Look, I'm going, we out. We out. Get away from me. Yeah. I was becoming so unafraid of embracing what this game is. Everything people say is bad about the game, I think is good about the game. And I have, as I said, behavioral science to back up why I feel this way about the stuff I like. And this was the year I managed to synthesize all of that into what amounted to the biggest win of my playing career. Like, so I'll get to 2018 a bit. That game had more people and a bigger list of prestigious names, but Esta, knowing what he's capable of, knowing how much he's won in this game, and knowing how much this game means to him, for me to become a peer of his. And keep in mind, Esta is someone who in other games, people like Daigo Takedo have nicknamed the final boss. So for me to have this happen, and to emerge victorious 2-1 in a round robin, full of Japanese killers, full of people from Europe, everyone played each other, and I cleared the board, undefeated. Sorry. I'm getting emotional, guys. Just, I'm remembering, like, I'm going back in time, remembering how I felt this day. Trying to find, hold on. Sorry. I remember I stood up and I waited for him to walk off. I just remember shaking. Because I did have kind of like a nervous attack during the set that cost me a game. And I took a breath and I finished the job. Yeah, like that. That can go south real quick. Good thing it's early in the match. I watched him walk off, and I was shaking. And I said, I'm going to pop off. I stood on the chair, and I remember popping off with a loud, like, primal Sting type, woo! And then I said, this is my yard now. My yard. Screamed it as loud as I could. Because I knew, even though the tournament was ongoing, I had to face some other people, I knew I had just cleared all the biggest obstacles that would keep me from winning this. Robophobe was the only guy I couldn't corner because he used to be the old IRC. And if I could get past him, it would be a guarantee for me. He was my last guy before I could say I have won enough games where no one can catch me in this tournament. So I was, oh my god, so ecstatic. I was so happy. That was the happiest moment of my life, right there. Until I get married, until I have my son or daughter, that stands as the pinnacle. This is the greatest moment of my life right here. EVO 2017, I won FIFA Cross Tekken. And I remember the IRC being extremely dismissive of it. And that pissed me off. As it should. And they told me, you yelled at us, we're uncomfortable, and you made us uncomfortable at the Korean barbecue dinner we at. And I'm like, why do you say that? Because they said I was talking about this. Like, look, I won EVO. I am not going to be in a normal state of mind. I am ecstatic. I'm through the roof. After all this years, 5 years I've been at this. And you want to treat me like this? I was mad. I know I swore earlier, so that means I'll have to put up a PG-13 tag on this this stream when I upload to YouTube. But yeah. So after I won, I wanted to be productive. I made the Street Fighter Cross Tekken Complete dossier. That was my version of the Street Fighter Cross Tekken Bible. because the official guidebooks never made the 2013 updates. It's pretty much a new game. It's pretty much Super Cross Tekken. So I made a complete rundown of every single character in the game so that everyone after me could pick the game up and not to go through the same 5 years of agony that I had to go through. I was, again, so happy. There was a sense of emptiness, I guess, once I was, again, brimming with energy for probably a solid 3 months after EVO. But once it kind of simmered a bit, I realized I still had more to go. There were still people I hadn't fully overcome online. And they were going to be there next year. But at the same time, I started to wonder, even when I get past them, what's next? Because I was getting into Marvel Infinite at the time, because it was new. People hate that game too, go figure. And I was putting myself in a position where now I had to be the one to not just be the game's champion, but the game's curator. There's a responsibility to winning EVO, in my opinion. You have to be there to defend it at least 1 year after. 2, 3 in a row, if you walk off, that's fine. But in my opinion, at least this is how I felt, I had to be there at least 1 more year to defend it. And there were going to be people there where it wouldn't be as easy. Because in the lobby, the next day, Hazama beat me 10-1. Keep in mind, tournament's over, and I'd already beaten Hazama in tournament the day before, but now I had to be hungry, you know? That same weekend, I got to play Coach Steve, yeah. I got to play Coach Steve. I got to play Arturo, CD Jr., Dominion, and I cleaned the table with them. I 5-0'd everyone except Coach Steve, who stopped my 30-win streak in that room. Sonic Fox was there too, as was Bibulus. He stopped my streak with Rufus Zangief. And that kept me hungry for next time. I knew I had done great. And that was the start of me interacting with Arturo, which led to what we'll get to in 2020 and 2021. We're on 2018 right now. We've gone forward. We've made the guidebook. We're preparing for next year. 2018. 2018, I did not do... I got third, but again, top 3 at EVO is nothing to sniff at, especially against Homeless Dragon and Nostalgic and Esta and those guys. You see the X-Wires logo. This was the debut of X-Wires because I had begun hosting Marvel Infinite as well, because that game needs someone to curate. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to reset. Homeless Dragon beat me this year, and he deserved it. We had gone toe-to-toe constantly online, usually about even. But this year, he taught me stuff that I should have been doing that other people weren't doing to me. And to that extent, he deserved his win because he demolished Esta. And he demolished me in Winners Finals. If I had known what I know now, I would not have played the way I did, but he educated me, so there you have it. But I am proud of myself for willing myself to go to EVO because, as I said, I had a responsibility, and I had felt directionless because I had reached the pinnacle, something that wasn't in reach the past 5 years, that's 6 years, and now it's like, well, what's next? I can defend this title. If I win it, do I defend again the year after? I will always love this game, but EVO at the time was going in a very weird direction. I didn't like the way the event was being presented. I didn't like the way they treated my games. I didn't like the way how the demographic shifted to a more anime-con type aesthetic. Because, quite frankly, it kind of made it suck. Like, this is around the time auto combos were becoming like the norm in fighting games, and I wanted no part of that. And I thought anyone who said otherwise didn't know what they were talking about, had no place to tell me what they meant, and had no reason to pretend like they could invalidate what I had done. I still feel this way. There are some people I will not talk to ever again because they felt this way and refused to back down from it, and instead attacked me for it, because this game means the world to me. So I am proud of myself that I managed to come back for one more year, and it was nice to say I did my best, and I've learned a lot, and considering where I was at mentally, I'm proud of myself for making things happen. And I am very proud that Ernesto um, came out and did his stuff as well. Ernesto's busy. He's someone who cares very much about his family. He takes his career seriously, and he takes his game seriously. And if I had to lose, I'm glad it was someone like Homeless. So thank you, Homeless. So Summer Jam. Oh boy. So Summer Jam. That one wasn't hosted by me. This is Summer Jam 2018, a few months after. Uh, where am I? Summer Jam was actually hosted by Big E. I just recorded the event and did some commentary for it. That's all I did. And I played it as well. I wasn't going to at first. I felt after EVO 2017 I had nothing else to prove. I was fine resting on my laurels at the time. Even though EVO didn't go the way I want, I was very proud of how I did. Like Hazama, who I faced and got 10-1 in a casual set the year prior, I dropped two perfects on in tournament and put him in losers. And even he said, I can't beat this guy, he's too good. And that meant a lot to me, Hazama. Thank you. But yeah, uh, this one I had signed up, but it was a cap tournament. Again, this is a 32-man tournament. It had sponsored players. It had lots of players you've heard of, players from E League. And I said, yeah, let me go for it, just for fun. And I won. I did not lose a single game this tournament. Even though I came there and I had food poisoning that morning, I came there and people were fighting with me and being mean to me, and I didn't want to take it while I was sick and not feeling well and starving as well. I overcame the obstacles and I won. This I spoiler, I win, and I do not drop a single game doing so. I'm so proud of that. I wasn't back then. I felt like, wow, this is a cap tournament, and I was sick, and I wasn't playing my best, and I still won. Did I deserve to win? Am I the only guy trying anymore? That's how I felt that day. It's not even a slight to anyone entering this. This is just, again, how I felt. Whether or not it was valid or not is up in the air. But again, I think I was, in 2018, growing to a point where I wanted to do something other than just be that one guy who keeps a game alive just to win at it. Because there are people accuse me of that. They are, keep in mind, pants on head wrong for assuming that was my intention, but I can understand where the confusion might take place. So me winning this, the best thing I felt were two things. One, that even though I was not at my best in any capacity, I survived and won. And two, someone told me what I mentioned earlier about invalidating my accomplishments because of the fact it's cross Tekken. And me winning a fully capped tournament with people who are in E League, with people who are sponsored, with people who have way more Twitter and Twitch clout than I do. For me to overcome all of them and not drop a single game, despite all that, that felt fantastic. That felt like there are a few things more motivating than doing something that someone said you couldn't. By proving them wrong and then rubbing your victory in their face, that feels good. And I'm proud that I got to do that. Even as I was starting to realize that even with all this stuff, I had a long way to go. 2019. 2019, I started doing the online tournament stuff more. And Brent came in. So keep in mind, Brent definitely rubbed me sideways for a bit because I was trying to balance. And again, in my mind, I felt like I was drifting along, and I felt frustrated. Where is it? I'm trying to find 2019, the online tournament stuff. So for Brent to continuously beat me, because usually I could overcome someone after like maybe 3 sets, or maybe a couple months, but for Brent to consistently beat me for as long as he did, that did kind of rub me sideways, because he always mocked me and what I had done, saying I wasn't here for this and that. I was there, but I wasn't the player back then that I am now. It's not like I stagnated. It's not like I walked away and came back thinking it'd be a free ride. No, I kept the lights on. And if there was any kind of money involved in cross Tekken because I put it down, again, I've spent close to 5 figures in this game. Figures, not fingers. Close to 5 fingers. I've been doing that as well. 10 fingers. One for the D-pad, one for the face buttons, and sometimes the shoulders if I got macros on for 3 punches, 3 kicks, so I can do my EX moves easier, teleport, things like that. But yeah, it was a wake-up call, and even though I don't like to admit it, at least back then, it did kind of push me again. Goodness, I can't. And also, it brought me to terms that Rufus is, other than the Bison Mirror, this is my least favorite matchup in the game, because he requires a set of fundamentals that no one else has because of the dive kick and the fact that dive kick recovers instantly on the ground. Even if it's not like a free pressure on block anymore, he's still pretty safe, and it's basically really narrow empty lows. Now, his Dudley's really good as well. I haven't faced a good Dudley in a long time. He might be the best Dudley I faced, because there have been other Dudleys I faced, but they weren't nearly at Brent's level. Wow, I really needed that not to drop. Keep in mind, I'm also starting to accept it's online and coast to coast. But I'm not going to make excuses, man. Brent, I sorry if I was sideways to you. I was in a bad spot in my life, again, because work was falling apart again. I was promised directorship, and then they backed down on it, and then they treated me a certain way, even though I was making sacrifices by backing away from these games to focus more on like weekend overtime, only for them to put me on a performance improvement plan. That definitely rubbed me the wrong way. Now I'm much happier in my current job. But yeah, as a player, I was starting to become, I won't say content, but I was starting to embrace the journey again, because there were people who were trying, and people that did motivate me to get better, even if it was in a very aggressive way. Because I guess I'd forgotten what it means to endure that, because I had distanced myself from people who didn't offer me anything in return other than just more headaches. Brent offers you a headache, but he also offers you good gameplay. You can learn a lot from him. You just have to weather his particular ego. Most of which is not unwarranted. So, Brent, good stuff, and thanks for helping me improve as a player. Even slightly. But 2019 was a really good year for Street Fighter Cross Tekken beyond my endeavors. Because that was when we had, for the first time since 2015, we had stream time with a streamer that wasn't just me. Team Spooky and Arturo told me as I was finishing Street Fighter Cross Tekken Combo Breaker, save your top 4 for stream tomorrow at this time. And I was lucky that no one had a flight on Sunday. I was very worried that might have been the case. Because the people in the IRC who said they wanted to do with me, they showed up. We got Osleon, Windolfer, and Seth L right here facing LPN. And I'm back on commentary, back on a main stream. I'm very proud of that. And look at the view count. Look, right now, you can't see it. It's at 419,827 views. That felt like, oh man, I knew we had done good because this is a really good top four. This is probably the best top four I've seen since that one final round that I mentioned with Cool Kid. In terms of overall quality of play, pound for pound. And while it was nice to kind of see that the cross-second IRC wasn't full of bluster and was actually going to show up to these events that I put down $300, $400, $500 pots on, all in my own pocket, that them showing up and LPN facing them and defeating them. I remember. So I faced LPN in a first to five earlier that weekend. I beat him 5-3. And then before this top four, I worked with him on all these matchups. And I said, I bet you these are who they're going to play. And they did, and LPN was ready. But it proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that if Cross Tekken is just given a chance, if Cross Tekken is just given a stage, and if Cross Tekken just had the lights on enough where those who were on this stage could refine themselves enough to play at this level and impress, the world would tune in. For almost 420,000 views on this video, and it's Street Fighter Cross Tekken in 2019. We made this game look like the best fighting game, period. And I still feel this is the standard in terms of actual gameplay. In terms of what it offers, this is the standard. Pound for pound is the best fighting game of all time. I still feel that way. And we proved this combo breaker. We also had an event at CEO. Spicy Steve won that. Good stuff, Spicy. I'm not going to show that one because the quality of play in this one's, sorry. I mean, you did great, by the way, Spicy. It's just everyone else in your tournament, I'd rather watch this than watch whoever it was before Dirty Llama. Dirty Llama wasn't too bad, but you were head and shoulders everybody else. This is a closely contested top four. So after CEO, and we had mainstream time there too, I was not going to go to EVO because I spent my money on Combo Breaker and CEO. I wanted to just branch out because those two promised me stream time, and EVO did not. So, needs to say the stream time and relying on others to give me that stage, putting aside my ego, it paid off dividends for this scene. I'm so glad that I trusted others. Cause it's hard for me to build trust because so many people have such really, really crappy work ethics in terms of this particular wing of what we do. The streaming, the commentating, making sure things are on time and stuff like that. I learned this firsthand because after Combo Breaker, I was approached by Gutex. He said, let's work together. And his girlfriend contacted me the next week for CEO. And that's how I got the stream time for Cross Tekken for CEO. We did some stuff with Power Rangers as well. We did some stuff there live as well. I was recording footage for Cross Counter TV. Then I offered, hey, let's try doing it for Capcom LCQ, like what we're doing here, recording all this stuff with my LGPs. Let's do this for Capcom Cup. We can create moments and create like resume builders for all these players, so they have like a great moment here in this LCQ. It's for the world to see, and they can use that to build their sponsorship and stuff. Gutex agreed. Cross Counter TV agreed, so did Capcom. So I was at Capcom Cup, and I got to talk to Ono about Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I had met him many times at other events, but I remember after I showed him the LCQ footage, and he was beyond ecstatic that we had salvaged that because he was not sure what his superiors would think at the time. And given he's not there anymore, don't have to worry about it anymore. But we talked about Cross Tekken for a while because he knew I was about that life. We had met many times before because he hung out with us at EVO 2014. He'd seen us many times. It's Aaron the Cross Tekken man. He'd seen me at Red Bull Conquest in DC playing Cross Tekken in the lobby as well. He'd seen me many, many times. So he knew who I was, and he knew I was going to talk about that game eventually. He told me, as always, in his limited English, thank you for your support. As always, it's my pleasure. You pulled me out of a really bad spot in my life. This game has changed my life and brought me to places I wouldn't have dreamed about before this game came out. So thank you for everything on your end as well. He told me candidly, Street Fighter Cross Tekken is owned completely by Capcom. There are no licensing reasons why they could not revive this game anytime they wanted. There's actually a batch of DLC characters on the server that never went gold because it was quote unquote low priority. And then he told me, we only move by numbers. So if you want this game to come back, you'll have to give us the excuse. Give us the numbers, give us the interest. If there are numbers and interest, then we will consider bring this game back.
Oh no. Best move ever, Wario Bros.
Yeah, so that was how 2019 ended. Then the pandemic hit. Oh boy. The pandemic, the plague, COVID-19 happened. 2020, ladies and gentlemen. So Combo Breaker was going to be back, or Cross Tekken was going to be back at Combo Breaker in 2020. I had already gotten approved. We were going to run 360. And I was iffy because there were no good converters back then for 360. And I was trying to find some and to no avail, so I accepted. All right, Cross Tekken 360 it is. The reason I run in PS3 from 2016 and now is because there were no good converters for PS4 to 360. So most people's sticks and pads didn't work anymore, unless they had an old 360 pad. Thankfully, that has since changed, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. 2020. So I did a couple of things with cross-counter TV, but it was becoming clear to me that Gutex was going in a really, really weird direction, and the way I do business, the way he did business, were night and day. This was evident to me at Capcom Cup. It was probably more evident to me even with online stuff. So Arturo hit me up, and he said, "You want to do this?" I said, "Yeah, let me just finish with this. I want to finish my obligation with Gutex. Just say I'm, so I don't flake and just be unreliable. You never know." And then once I was done with Cross Counter TV, we moved to Arturo's channel. Full time. You see this Arturo's channel right here. Our first Matcherino, I think it was like May or so. Let's just, where are we? Is this it? Yeah, it was May or June. So we had, look, $340 for a Cross Tekken tournament just off Matcherino. That's impressive. That is really impressive, ladies and gentlemen. And as much as I hate to admit it, it is nice to have someone help out like Arturo has. Despite how much I hate to admit it, I can't do this alone. I mean, yeah, I can play Cross Tekken, but I can't just play it by myself. I can't just commentate my own stuff without sounding like I'm just tooting my own horn constantly. I need competitors. And Arturo's stage that he provides with his outreach, the Matcherino stuff that he provides, which is fantastic for providing further incentive beyond just love of the game, and having a Discord that we've developed, me and Salt and Duck. Good to see you, Kev. Me and Salt and Duck. And then the PSN side with you, Kev, with Broly, and then you have Homeless. We've had even people like Brent and LPN and Chris T who have provide their love when they can. Spicy Steve as well. Scrubs, all the people we've developed who've stuck with this game, the community we have. I still think the CrossFit community, what we have now, is one of the better ones, the whole FGC. I thank you guys for being a part of it if you're listening and you know what I'm talking about. And if I left out any names, just know it's not because I've forgotten you. It's just there's so many people I can credit for what we've done because I can't do this alone. And when I saw 2020, excuse me, I'm getting choked up. This is very emotional. Again, 10 years. Seeing all the people at Cybercross Tekken during a time where people were miserable thanks to the pandemic, seeing all the views we got and all the outreach we got, that was very humbling. It was also very humbling that people were complimenting my commentary as much as they were. Because there was a time people hated my commentary, and I couldn't understand what made my commentary worse than others I've heard. But this time there was no confusion about what I was doing. Arturo told me I was a fantastic commentator and I should be commentating pro wrestling. And again, one of my childhood dreams to be a sportscaster, so this was a big deal for him to say that. Uh, the YouTube comments, once a constant stream of negativity, kept talking about how good my commentary was. They were specifically saying this guy's great on commentary. It's not often you hear people talk about the commentators in a positive light, in a very specific positive light like that, as frequently as they have with me, not just with Cross Tekken, but with Marvel Infinite, but with Battle for the Grid, but for Turtles, but for everything else I've worked on since then. I am honored to be put in that company. I have a chance to express my love for these games, and especially Street Fighter Cross Tekken, this game that pulled me out of some really difficult times in my life. And this extended all the way to 2021. Despite the best efforts of certain people in the community to remove me, I refused to be removed. I love games more than I hate people. I will always be around to press buttons, and unless I do something criminal that would prevent me from entering these events, I am going to be there, and if someone does not like it, they will have to cope. There is nothing they can do to remove me from playing video games in any venue. Knowing that, I knew I was going to have to earn back Arturo's trust. And he has assured me several times what you said, what happened was extremely minor and very overblown. All the same, I did bring drama to his doorstep, and I should have known better as someone who respected the fact that he was doing me a favor, doing us, the cross tech community, a favor. And I sat in timeout until I could earn his trust. I relinquished commentary duties to Jury Kill's friend, one of my best friends. How can I mention cross tech without him? Jury Kill's friend is another cross second player. He plays Ken Lilly. He lives about an hour and change from me up north. We played a lot when we lived in Richmond together in 2012, and he was a big supporter when I had none locally for Street Fighter Cross Tekken and me pursuing as much as I have in it. And that means the world to me, Siam. Thank you. I let him commentate for a bit. And then I uploaded, kind of like a test, see how people react. I uploaded some my July 2021 footage for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. We'll pull that up right now. And people responded well to me and responded well to the game. So from there, I built a bond where I would just send him stream footage and he would upload it. And now Street Fighter Cross Tekken is one of his most viewed content, period. For stuff that isn't... For things that aren't like... Sorry. Let me get to a double limb. More hype that way. Hey, you know what? Let's upload Brawling Swoops. Try to find a good view count for you guys. Some of that probably represents how much we've done. How about EU September? There we go. Pandora's Mayhem will be a nice neat one. Uh, you see, yeah, even though it's Arturus who has the crossfires looks, I give him the footage because I know he can do more than I can at this point. As I said, I've come to put aside my ego to accept that we're all in this together and we have to help each other to keep these games alive. Once again, we have proven time and time again, no matter what year it is, no matter who's in it, Cross Tekken at a high level, it's unrivaled. And no matter what controversy people might throw at us, no matter what naysayers might bring up to us, no matter what duplicity those who would stop us may put on our table, I'm not going anywhere. Nor is Cross Tekken. And as we talk about this and we see that we have some of the most viewed content on a channel known for fighting games, modern fighting games, not just games that are over the hill. I mean, we outdraw. We'll get to that in 2022, but this was. We actually have more views now than we did before 2020. Like 2021, Cross Second gets on average 10,000 plus. And I don't play in these things often. I'm just a commentator. If Cross Tekken is thriving, it's because of people who are watching this, because you support it, because you play it, because you refine it, because you promote it, because you preach it, because you know that this game and everything about it is indeed worth the hype. I mean, everything I said. I love the gen system the way it is now. I think this is how a beginner system, a beginner mechanic should be done, not auto combo stuff that stagnates playstyles. Things like gems that promote playstyles, a variety of playstyles, not just rushdown, not just being lame, but everything. Street Fighter Cross Tekken is a game where you can express yourself in any way you wish once you know your team synergy. Any way you wish. That's why it is the best game. That's why it is a draw on these big YouTube channels. That's why I've done this for the last decade. And that's why entering the new year, entering its 10th year, entering 2022, I can say confidently that we are thriving and we are winning. This almost have 13,000 views. It's just a casual between me and Jury Kill's friend. My friend for the last 10 years, not just cross tag but in life. I'm honored whenever I get to talk to his family and see how they're doing and provide my BCBA insight every now and again. This outdrew the entire Battle for the Grid League. That game had a bigger stage. That game had official company support. That game had every reason to get at least 50,000 views. Despite that, me just playing Jerry Kills casually, just having fun, 13,000 views in 2022, 10 years after Cross Tekken's release. And the best part about this anniversary is that for the first time in many, many years, 8 years, there's a light. I have fought tooth and nail not just for this game to be promoted, but this game can be properly resurrected. For that, it needs a modern port. 2022 will likely see an answer to that prayer, at least on the PC side. In November 2021, Capcom announced they will be updating Street Fighter Cross Tekken so that the black screen issue that affects Windows 10 machines is no more. So you can have the game working out of the box, rollback netcode out of the box, all the features that make this game great right out of the box, no patches, no looking for all Windows Live essentials, none of that will be necessary. Cross Tekken will thrive, and for the last 2 years, I have had the honor of being a part of setting a foundation where this game will thrive even after I walk away from it, whenever that happens. But I'm not ready to walk away just yet. I'm still having a great time with it, and the community is why I will play this game probably until I'm in a box someday. Until the game is either completely unplayable, where technology's moved to a point where consoles are no longer a thing, or something happens to me that prevents me from playing games. This game will always be with me. It's in my blood. And again, Ono told me Capcom would only move the numbers show them to. We made the numbers move, so we're gonna have a cross Tekken Steam update that'll fix the game, and then people can really see what we can do. This game moved up the Capcom all-time sales list because of what we were doing these last 2 years. What I've been doing the last 8 or 9 years. It's humbling again. And yeah, 10 years of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Man. Guys, I'm going to stand up real quick. Hold on a second. Because I'm getting really emotional. Alright, you see me guys, right? Thank you. Like, I can't thank you guys enough for all the support you've given me the last few years. The last 8 years, 9 years, decade, however long you've known me with me in this game. This game has been a pretty important part of my life, even after everyone else left it alone. And finding people who shared that love has meant a lot to me. So this is my 10th birthday tribute to this wonderful game. And hopefully this Steam update comes out soon. I have no idea at this point. I just know they've been working on it in the Steam database, and it could be any day now, it could be any month now, who knows. Hopefully it's not going to be one of those things where it shuts down the online. That would really, really suck, and I'm not sure what we do then, other than thank goodness we have offline still. But, yeah. This is Psycho Blue, conductor of the Hype Train, Mr. Hype Gems, hashtag Crosswires, hashtag Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Here's to 10 more years. I will see you guys next time, alright? Later, everyone.